Good job, Coach Day and that crew. That was really the first big-time college football game I've ever been to, with all respect to the Penn Quakers. So it was fun for me to be able to take my boys down there. Had a blast. The show was rocking. It was very cool.
Shedeur Sanders being the ultimate lottery ticket here in Cleveland. So I think they're just betting against the ceiling on Flacco because we know what he is, and that's why we're so low on here.
Has the NFL already locked in its next shocker at quarterback and nobody's paying attention? Behind all the hype reels, draft chatter, and endless media noise, something sneaky is brewing in Cleveland. And no, it's not about Joe Flacco or the shiny name Arch Manning. It's about Shedeur Sanders, the kid nobody's hyping, but insiders swear he's about to flip the whole script. While Arch gets spotlight love even though he hasn't played out a full college season, Shedeur's been grinding in silence, treating every snap and scrimmage like it's do or die. Because maybe it really is. He's carrying himself like a vet, working like he already owns the Browns job, while the QB room around him stays messy and unpredictable. From the outside, it looks like Cleveland's acting like he's not even in the mix. Flacco's the safe old head, Dylan Gabriel's the maybe, not mid-round gamble.
Excited for the football team, Eric. I'm excited for all the work that these guys have put in. It's a group, like I mentioned before, that has done everything we've asked them to do. So it's fun when you get to this point in the calendar. You have that game that's within a week, and you're in the game week. You get to see these guys in the roles that they've earned. But for me, it's never moves past very far. The idea that these guys have worked so hard for this in the games, and that this is the fun part for them. It's a fun part for us.
But Shedeur? He ain't on posters, he ain't at flashy pressers, yet whispers from inside the locker room paint a different picture. Folks say he's locked in, obsessed, stone cold serious. And with the Browns' cursed history at quarterback, a secret weapon like this could turn the whole city upside down. Cleveland's quarterback curse is real. They burn through quarterbacks like paper in a fire. Injuries, bad coaching calls, stars flopping under pressure. It all happens quick. Which means all it takes is one slip-up, one bad hit, and boom! Shedeur Sanders could be on that field with the headset, taking snaps, and maybe never giving that job back. Meanwhile, the sports media circus can't stop drooling over Arch Manning, acting like he's already a Hall of Famer. Cameras can't get enough of him, and with the Manning name stamped on his back, insiders are already whispering about him going first overall in the NFL draft, before the dude has even locked down a starting job in college. That's crazy. Think about it. No meaningful college passes yet, but somehow mock drafts are already painting him in a Browns uniform like it's destiny. That's the hype machine in overdrive. When your name is Manning, all it takes is a few warm-up throws to get fans losing their minds. Sure, Arch has skills, nobody denies that. But here's the wild part. Almost nobody's talking about Shedeur. He's not trending off his last name. He's grinding in silence, practicing like a pro, fighting for real reps, and proving himself the hard way while Arch racks up headlines for family legacy alone.
Browns love, because like you could make the same argument. Dylan Gabriel played a ton of college football. That's a project that's probably closer along than Jalen Milroe is. Now the ceiling of Milroe is much higher than the ceiling of Gabriel. I don't think anybody's debating that. And then Shedeur Sanders being the ultimate lottery ticket here in Cleveland. So I think they're just betting against the ceiling on Flacco because we know what he is, and that's why we're so low on here.
No famous last name, no NFL dynasty family tree backing him up, just a chip the size of a boulder on his shoulder and a hunger that won't quit. That's Shedeur Sanders in a nutshell. But here's the part nobody wants to admit. When the lights hit and the stadium's roaring, hype and potential mean nothing if you can't deliver under pressure. And right now, all that pressure's been thrown on Arch Manning's shoulders, while Shedeur gets to train in the shadows, sharpening his game for the perfect moment to shock the entire league. While sports networks replay Arch's high school highlights and 7-on-7 clips like gospel, Cleveland's got a storm forming that could flip everything. The quarterback everyone's ignoring today might just be the one everyone's screaming about tomorrow. Because hype is loud, but results are deafening. And let's be real, if there's any team cursed when it comes to quarterbacks, it's the Cleveland Browns. Year after year, they treat the quarterback position like a short-term rental, never a forever home. And guess what? 2025 is shaping up no different. The depth chart's already chaos. Joe Flacco's back, the steady old vet, perfect for babysitting the locker room, but nowhere near a long-term savior. Then there's Dylan Gabriel, athletic, Quick feet, flashy on college tape, but still raw. He's the type you toss in when the season's spiraling, hoping he shows a spark before fading out. Dillon Gabriel's never run a pro-style system like this. It's brand new territory. He's gonna need time, patience, and a whole lot of learning on the fly. But here's the catch. The Browns don't have that kind of time. The fan base is already restless, the front office is zipped up tight, and if Cleveland's history tells us anything, it's that somebody on that depth chart is gonna get benched, banged up, or straight up blamed, whether it's fair or not. And when that happens, every eye in the stadium, every camera, every headline will slide right down the roster to one name.
Because football is the ultimate team sport. And even in this broadcasting role, Chris, that's what I look for all the time. When a quarterback throws a touchdown pass, I actually watch to see who he goes and celebrates with. Because what did I do? I looked for my offensive lineman every time. I went down and celebrated in the end zone with my teammates every time. I wanted everyone to feel like they were part of the success. I told the linemen, we're all running to the end zone and we're celebrating as a team. Because I think that's way more intimidating than a quarterback doing his 6-shooter guns and pointing up in the crowd and doing all that other bullshit that's very self-promotional, but it's not about winning. And I think winning in football is about a team, always a team attitude first.
Shedeur Sanders. Funny thing is, you won't hear his name much in the Browns' official pressers. But if you ask players, local reporters, or even coaches when the mic's off, they'll tell you flat out, Shedeur might be a rookie, but he ain't built like a regular rookie. He's cool under pressure, he studies film like a starter, and he carries himself like he's already in command of the offense. So what happens when Flacco slows down? What happens when Gabriel can't catch up to the speed of the game? The Browns won't have a choice. They'll have to turn to Shedeur, and that's when the heat really turns up. For the coaches, the fans, and for the kid who's been quietly sharpening his blade for this exact moment. And while Cleveland's quarterback room stays in chaos, did anyone notice where head coach Kevin Stefanski just popped up? The Ohio State versus Texas showdown. On the surface, sure, it looked innocent. Just a coach taking in some big-time college football, maybe even a family night out. He even said that himself. My boys had a blast. That's what Kevin Stefanski said about pulling up to the Ohio State versus Texas showdown. But let's keep it real. Head coaches don't just stroll into blockbuster matchups for fun, not in the middle of a prep week, and definitely not when their own quarterback situation is hanging by a thread. Stefanski can play it off as casual, but the bigger picture tells a different story. That game was a scouting paradise, crawling with NFL-level talent at every position, and especially under center. Analysts counted at least 5 serious quarterback prospects on that field, the kind of names scouts drool over as future franchise leaders. Sure, Arch Manning was the one hogging all the camera flashes, but he wasn't the only draw. There were legit first-rounders showcasing arm talent all over the place. But here's the twist. While Stefanski was busy eyeballing the next generation under the bright lights, Shedeur Sanders was back in Cleveland grinding like a man possessed. No crowd, no cameras, no hype train, just him on the practice field throwing lasers like it was playoff Sunday. That contrast speaks volumes. One quarterback is still being scouted, while the other is acting like he's already here, already ready, already built for the big stage. So maybe Stefanski was scouting, but the truth is wild. The quarterback he needs to save Cleveland might already be inside his building, waiting to explode. And if Shedeur keeps stacking reps like this, the Browns won't be able to ignore him much longer. While headlines chase hype, Sanders is quietly crafting his takeover throw by throw. If you've really been watching, then you know. This ain't your average rookie routine. Shedeur Sanders isn't out there just jogging through drills. He's treating every snap like it's a Sunday showdown. Word from inside the building is he's attacking the Browns' playbook like it's his personal mission to master it. Not eventually, but right now. He's not zoning out during walkthroughs or coasting in practice. He's locked in, running sets with pinpoint precision, barking out calls like he's been under center for years. And the wildest part? He's not waiting to be told he's a leader. He's already moving like one. One coach even described his mindset as surgically focused. And honestly, that's the perfect way to put it. For Shedeur, these reps aren't just practice. This is his season, his championship, his Super Bowl. He knows the NFL flips overnight. One injury, one benching, one shot. And suddenly, the kid who's been grinding in the shadows is the one headlining on Sundays. Even when the cameras find him, he plays it smart. No trash talk, no wild promises, just calm, steady confidence. That's not luck, that's strategy. While the media gushes over Arch Manning clips, Shedeur keeps stacking work in silence, waiting for the perfect chance to strike. And here's the kicker. People inside that locker room are noticing. The vets, the assistants, the teammates, they may not blast it out loud, but off the record, they're saying it without saying it. Shedeur is practicing like a man who refuses to be a backup for long. He's not sitting around wishing for an opportunity. He's training to seize it, to own it, like it's already his. And honestly, the odds of that happening are way higher than people realize. Let's not forget, the Browns are notorious for quarterback chaos. Since 1999, they've trotted out 37 different starters. That's not trivia. That's a full-blown curse. In Cleveland, it's always the same story. Injuries, bad fits, quick hooks, and endless experiments. And looking at this year, the setup feels all too familiar. Analysts have Joe Flacco pegged to start. The reliable vet, steady hands, knows the system, but he's pushing 40, and best case scenario, they squeeze 4 or 5 good games out of him before the drop-off comes. Then what? That's when Dillon Gabriel slides in, the exciting rookie with wheels and instincts but no NFL resume. Sure, he'll deliver a highlight or two, a long scramble, a bomb downfield, but this league adjusts quick. Defenses study tape, figure you out, and suddenly the magic fades. When that happens, the door doesn't just crack open, it swings wide for Shedeur Sanders. Picture this. Week 10, maybe week 11, playoff race heating up, and one injury or ugly loss forces Cleveland to roll the dice. Out of nowhere, Shedeur could be QB1 before fans even realize what hit them. And the craziest part, it might not be an accident at all. The Browns' silence around Shedeur could be their sneakiest move yet. Classic misdirection, hiding their ace until the perfect moment. The Browns' game plan might just be this: keep the media quiet, keep the spotlight off, and then strike when nobody's paying attention. And here's the truth. If Shedeur Sanders even touches the field for one real game, everything changes overnight. Because Cleveland doesn't just need a quarterback, they need electricity, they need a spark, and Shedeur's been practicing like he's holding the match. Picture it. Shedeur jogs out, helmet strapped, lights blazing, not in preseason or garbage time minutes, but under real pressure when it actually counts. That's the moment everything flips. And here's where it gets crazy. If he starts, he's not stepping into a broken offense limping along. No, he's walking into a squad stacked with weapons. You've got Jerry Jeudy on the outside, a slick route assassin who can snap ankles and shred coverages. You've got Deontay Johnson, a target vacuum with one of the deadliest releases in the league. At tight end, David Njoku, a 6'4" nightmare built for mismatches. And holding it all together, a legit top-tier offensive line that can actually protect their quarterback. That's not just rookie-friendly, that's a launch pad to the big stage. All Shedeur would need to do is stay calm, read defenses, and fire off a few calculated shots downfield. And if he hits on even one of those, the coaching staff will be drowning in pressure to keep him in. Fans will erupt, the media will flip their script, and suddenly what looked like a one-game emergency becomes a full-blown quarterback war in Cleveland. But here's the real twist. If you've watched Shedeur play, you know the truth. He's not the type to hand that job back once he's got it in his grip. Shedeur's calm in the pocket, smooth on the move when he has to escape, and deadly accurate under pressure. Drop that skill set into an NFL system loaded with legit receivers and a high-scoring scheme, and you just might see a star born overnight. And if that moment comes, don't expect Cleveland to rewind the tape, because when talent collides with perfect timing, and Shedeur's been prepping for this shot his entire life, it doesn't fade away quietly. It kicks the door off the hinges and locks it shut behind him. But here's the wild question nobody's daring to ask. What if all of this, Flacco holding the seat warm, Gabriel waiting in the wings, the silence around Shedeur, is all on purpose? Think about it. The Browns are the league's most unpredictable quarterback circus. Rotate, bench, rinse, repeat. Sure, it looks like chaos, but maybe, just maybe, this time it's calculated strategy. What if Cleveland's keeping Shedeur under wraps on purpose, playing chess while everyone else is still playing checkers? Let Arch Manning drown in hype, let Caleb Williams and J.J. McCarthy soak up all the pressure, while Shedeur's in Cleveland quietly taking live reps, learning, and staying ice-cold ready. Then, mid-season, boom, Shedeur explodes onto the field, and it won't be luck, it'll be a setup, a straight ambush. And honestly, that's exactly Cleveland's style. Low expectations, low headlines, then out of nowhere, a playmaker emerges and flips the whole story. Just ask Nick Chubb or even Josh Cribbs back in the day. This franchise loves to stash its stars until the perfect moment to unleash them. And here's the real factor people overlook: Shedeur's mindset. The man is locked in, head down, no distractions, no off-field noise. That's not just maturity, that's strategy. He knows the less you talk, the more people doubt, and the more people doubt, the louder the explosion when you finally show out. So maybe the Browns' silence isn't a sign of doubt at all. Maybe it's the signal they're just waiting for the perfect time to unleash him. While the football world goes wild over Arch Manning's potential, and Cleveland plays musical chairs with its veteran QBs, Shedeur Sanders is waiting like a coiled spring, ready to strike the moment the door cracks open. And it won't take much: one injury, one losing skid, one press conference where Stefanski drops the words, "We're making a change." That's all it takes, and boom, the entire narrative flips overnight. Suddenly, the guy nobody mentioned in pregame chatter is running Cleveland's offense. The rookie ignored by national media is throwing strikes to Jerry Jeudy. The quarterback treated as a backup becomes the face of a franchise that hasn't had one in over 20 years. That's how brutal and beautiful the NFL really is. One week you're practicing against your own defense, making careful reads in silence. The next, you're under the lights on Sunday, cameras flashing, the weight of a city on your back. And from the way Shedeur's been preparing, you can see it in his eyes. He wants that smoke. But here's the truth: breakout moments don't wait for the spotlight. They snatch it when no one's ready. They don't come when the spotlight is brightest. They come when nobody's paying attention. And that's why this moment feels like the perfect storm. Because right now, the league isn't watching Shedeur Sanders, not yet. But when that call comes, and trust me, it will, it won't just be another rookie jogging onto the field. It'll be the birth of something way bigger for Cleveland, a new era, new energy, and maybe the star this franchise has been chasing for decades. The NFL has slept on him for too long. So the real question isn't just, will Shedeur be ready when his number's called? The question is, will the NFL be ready for Shedeur? That's the storm nobody's braced for. So tell me in the comments, should the Browns unleash him now or keep him hidden a little longer? And if you're rocking with Shedeur Sanders, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. This is Sideline Secrets, where we watch the future unfold before it happens. Stay locked in, and I'll see you on the next one.